Yeah, I will. Thanks, David. Hi, Andy. It's good to see you.
Hey, Corky.
Andy, when I say slightly unusual squad, I don't mean that in a bad sense, but given the fact that, there are, seven players off at the lines, and injured player and Andrew Porter, no Sexton, Healy, Earls, Ross Byrne, and 11 capped players. I mean, can you talk about maybe the fellas who are not there, plus the fellas who are there?
Yeah, of course. Well, first and foremost, it's an exciting squad. What are we after? We're after one, as always, developing our game, and two, developing the depth of the squad that we've got. We've got a massive international calendar next year, and we want to give people an opportunity to grab hold of a couple of weeks at the end of the season against a great side in Japan, and a USA game the following week. That's going to be challenging for many newcomers. It's exciting for lads that have been there and done that they'll step into a more senior role. Hopefully, we'll see how they develop there. It's nice to see some lads back who've been out of the system internationally for quite some time, and it's even nicer to see young lads or new lads come into the camp for the first time, and they'll find out what international rugby is all about.
Can you talk about the factor, how easy was it to talk to fellas like Johnny Sexton, Cian Healy, and tell them that you were, I won't say not considering them, but that they weren't going to be involved?
No, very easy, because there's a plan behind it, and the reason for that is, I suppose, it gives opportunities to other lads first and foremost, and these lads understand that their competitive nature won't totally agree with that, but at the same time, for them to have proper rest that they need within a pre-season, and on top of that, come back and have a proper pre-season where they can make gains with their body, and come back into the start of next season with the fire burning rapidly is going to benefit us all in the long run. Just to put context to that, for the lads that play through with us, and obviously the Lions lads, that means that they start pre-season a lot later than others. For Johnny, Cian and Keith and a few other lads as well, they'll now probably get 8-9 weeks of a pre-season, which they can certainly make some gains with. Other lads will probably get 4-5. So there's a reason behind that logic.
And just a final question from me: would that rule the likes of Johnny Sexton and Cian Healy out of consideration from a Lions point of view if they were required?
No, definitely not. Warren's certainly aware of all of this, and Keith's certainly in that bracket as well, because he was playing some outstanding rugby as well, wasn't he, during the Six Nations? So I'm sure that he's on the radar as well. Look, these lads are aware of the situation. They'll be training in the background and keeping themselves fit, and Warren knows exactly what they're about.
Cheers, man. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Corky.
Andy Sinead here.
Hi, Sinead.
Can you talk to us about the out-halves that are there? Obviously, Joey Carberry back in, and Harry getting in, and no Ross Byrne as well.
Yeah. Again, it's bringing back people into the fold and seizing an opportunity while there is an opportunity to take, Sinead. Obviously, Joey's been out of the system for quite some time. You don't get many windows like this one to be able to give people time, and we all know at international level, we need to find out, especially in those type of positions, the half-back positions, whether a player can come in and run the ship straight from word go. So to give Joey that opportunity, in fact, Joey's been playing really well of late, and his last game was his best. Harry's been injured quite a bit during the season, but he's back to fitness now, and we've been wanting to give him some time, some exposure, and this is the right time to do that. As far as Ross is concerned, I suppose he's in the same boat as, say, a Jack Carty or a Luke McGrath or Kieran Marmion, etc. Those guys have been in, done great jobs for us in the past. They'll take a rest or be on standby to come back in, and they'll hit the ground running next year.
And can you give some clarity on your own line situation then after these tests?
I've spoken to Warren a couple of times. I'm more than happy, obviously, to help out, because it's an unbelievable honour to be asked or to be involved in the lines. I'm sure we're all looking forward to watching the series. Where it stands at this moment in time is that Warren has left a spot open there, and he wants to see how the workload goes in the first week or so of the camps, and if he needs help in and around all that, then I'm happy to help. But the experience that they've got there within the coaching staff is top class. The experience that they've got in the management group is top class as well, so I'm sure they'll be fine.
They necessarily have to do to put themselves back in the picture to be brought in for an Ireland spot?
Well, I think I just explained there regarding Luke, regarding, we know what he brings, we know what type of leadership he's got. He's had a great season for Leinster, etc. To be able to give Craig Casey a bit more exposure, as in running the side within training, etc. And Jameson Gibson-Park is only young within his international career as well. And we get the opportunity to work with Caelan Blade for the first time, so that's exciting within itself. But as far as John's concerned, he's a bit of an issue with a neck problem, so he needs time for that to settle down.
And if I could just ask about one man who is in the squad, then Gavin Coombs. I think he was a player maybe some Irish fans thought they might have to see him in Irish shirts during the Six Nations, but it didn't happen. How impressed have you been with his form? Not even just over the entire season, but even recently at Melbourne, he seems to be improving week on week.
Yeah, he certainly knows where the try line is. He certainly knows what his point of difference is going to continue to be throughout his career. You know, I'm sure, like everyone else coming into camp, he'll have to find his feet quickly. You know, the international scene is a different world. He's one certainly with potential for the future. You look at the other guys that's in there, Nick Timoney and Paul Boyle, etc. They're of the same ilk, I would have thought.
Thanks.
Hi, Ali. I'm just wondering, when you're resting the senior players like Johnny and Keane and Keith, is that just coaching and selection decision, or is there any consultation with those players in advance of it? I know you would say that Johnny always wants to play, he always wants to pull on the jersey, but is that just completely your decision?
Yeah, there's a plan in place to benefit the player, not just to benefit us as a squad. It's to benefit the player in the short term and the long term. You know, as I said, there's a full calendar that finishes at the end of next year with the tour 3-game test series in New Zealand. You know, we need to make some gains in pre-season. The older you get, the more that you've got to look after yourself and be really stringent in your pre-season. And some of these boys have not had a pre-season for a long time. When you speak to them, of course, the first thing that they say is, I want to play. But they understand the method.
And just in the circumstances that we're operating in with COVID restrictions and all that, how is it like around the camp? I suppose the camps and tours have always been associated with personalities coming out and different guys doing different things and getting up to all sorts. But when it's limited, the time you can spend together, how do you make up for that kind of the bonding that you would do naturally?
Yeah, it's tough and it's challenging. We've done pretty well in being able to do that. We always get the players involved to make their own fun as well, you know, and they enjoy that. They obviously involve the staff in and around all that, so it ends up a nice bonding situation. But it is tough, and that's why we was desperate to go to Fiji on tour. You know, Fiji at that time was free of COVID, and we was able to tour like a normal tour should be, you know, and build those relationships and build that camaraderie. We are still living in the world going into camp next week in a COVID world, so we have got to keep applying to the rules and regulations, etc. But at the same time, there are certain things that we will do with the social group, etc. that will make sure that's an enjoyable one as well.
Thanks, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, Murray.
I just ask, was there anyone else who potentially would have been in the mix or in the squad who was also injured?
Eric O'Sullivan has got a bit of something going on with the shoulder, so he's rested to get fit as well. Ross has a little bit of something going on with an ankle, so not that stopped the thinking of the selection, but he'll get fit and well now for a big pre-season to start the season off well. So there's and John Cooney, obviously, like I've just mentioned before.
Thanks.
Hi, Andy. Sorry. Hi, Andy. Can I just ask you about James Ryan?
Yeah.
What were you thinking around sort of naming him captain? Was it a straightforward decision? And I guess just on that, were you surprised maybe that he wasn't picked on the Lions tour?
I was surprised, yeah, to start with that first. I think he's a class player, you know. He's bordering on world class in my opinion, you know. So James knows that there's room to improve his game, and one of those elements of his game to improve is his leadership role. He has come on leaps and bounds, and we've invested a couple of times now in James in that role. He'll have learned some lessons from that, and he'll be looking forward to what's ahead of him. I think his form since not getting selected for the Lions has been outstanding. Actually, some of his attack work has been top class. You know, his line out calling stuff has really come on. So he's taking responsibility. There'll be other guys that'll be in the leadership group, which is yet to be decided. Be in that leadership group who will step up and help James become a better captain also.
Andy, you talk about point of difference a lot. How exciting a prospect is Rob Balakin?
Yeah, we're really excited. It's 2 years ago now that Rob. Well, it'd be 18 months since Rob and Harry came to Portugal with us on a training camp, and along with Ryan Bird. So these lads have been earmarked for quite some time. Ryan has had a clean streak going through and play some much needed game time, and he's reaping the rewards for that at this moment in time, and he gets selected again. But Rob and Harry, I suppose, have been a little bit stop-start as far as the development's concerned because of injury. But the excitement in and around those games and what they can bring, and we'll see if they can bring it at a different level, international level, is exciting for everyone in Irish rugby.
Hey Andy, how's it going?
How's things?
Good, thanks. Just wanted to chat to you about Johnny Sexton, and I see he was back doing a bit of contact training with Leinster there last week as well. But have you had many conversations with him since he kind of been pulled out of the Lions since early April? And as an Ireland coach, would you almost selfishly hope that he does get a bit of a stretch off over the summer?
Well, I speak to Johnny all the time. I spoke to him yesterday, and we are very lucky here that we see the right people about the right thing, and the specialists are the ones that makes the judgment. And as far as the specialist is concerned, Johnny is good to go. There's no problems there whatsoever. You know, who am I to go against that?
And with Ryan Baird's selection, we saw him running this unbelievable try there at the weekend as well. Are you looking at it maybe as a second row, or are you happy enough kind of playing him back row if you need to?
He'll be second row first and foremost, and he'll be covering back row. I suppose a little bit of a hybrid there. He can play both, can't he? But we want to keep developing in the second row.
Perfect. Thanks, Eddie.
Thanks.
Andy, was Gavin Thornbury close to being in the squad?
Sorry, Murray. He's another one that's injured. So he's actually had a shoulder operation. So he's not played for a good few weeks now over there at Connacht, and as you've seen with Ulton Delan, he's togging out every single week. So Gavin's had a procedure done there, and he's had that to get fit and ready for the start of the new season.
Okay. The last one I just want to ask was James Lowe. I know he has been injured, hasn't played a huge amount. Was he in the mix, or has he still got stuff to do?
He's still got stuff to do. Yeah, he's not been back in the mix, Murray, regarding his return to training, etc. So he's not available.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Cheers.
it.
guys, we're going to switch now over to the embargoed written section.